This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, Queenstown's Mayor has hit out at the New Zealand Transport Agency over Queenstown traffic woes. A summer program in the Catlins is promising a festival of birds, butterflies, bats and more. And 2-year-old Kylo took 3 days to limp back home after a slug gun pellet shattered his front leg. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Queenstown's Mayor has hit out at the New Zealand Transport Agency over Queenstown's traffic woes, saying he is frustrated by the slow pace of progress. He has also hinted at new infrastructure, including a dedicated cycling and walking bridge across the Shotover River and a new roundabout at Lake Hayes Estate.
The agonisingly slow pace of Queenstown traffic, a major bone of contention for locals. The increase in congestion and major backlocks prompting a meeting last night organised by the Lake Hayes and Shotover Country Community Association. Mayor Jim Bolt faced a barrage of questions and shared his own frustrations.
The worst morning I've struck so far. It took me 50 minutes from Lakeside Lake Hayes, into the council offices. But I've learnt my lesson and I leave at 7 a.m. in the morning now.
That's nearly 5 times as long as it took him a few decades ago. Bolt says several ideas have been floated to ease the district's traffic woes, but the pace of progress is slow.
And I just get very frustrated over how long it takes to come to these decisions.
Another hot topic was the recently revealed $100 million gondola, with developer Alistair Porter addressing the crowd about his big-ticket proposal.
I've had a lot of experience with gondolas overseas, and to be perfectly frank, in my opinion, they're not intrusive on people. They're high up in the air, and most people walking, frankly, are looking forward or looking around them. It's quite difficult to walk looking up in the air.
Porter's latest proposal includes a commuter option to help ease traffic problems.
There are very few opportunities that you get like gondolas where you can enable large numbers of people to enjoy the environment without putting a foot on it.
Some new infrastructure was hinted at, including a dedicated cycling and walking bridge across the Shotover River and a new roundabout at Lake Hayes Estate. Whether it's enough to mitigate the current congestion is anyone's guess. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Vigils are being planned in Dunedin and Queenstown to honour slain English tourist Grace Milan. English expat Amanda Morris says she's decided to organise a vigil because Queenstown is a tourist place and the tragedy would have hit close to home for many in the resort. The vigil is set to be held from 7 p.m. tonight in front of the Bathhouse Cafe. Another vigil is planned to be held in the Octagon in Dunedin tomorrow night. A summer program in the Catlins is promising a festival of birds, butterflies and bats, fossils, fish and family fun throughout next month. Entering its 3rd year, the Forest and Bird South Otago Catlins summer program aims to educate, enthuse and inform people about the unique natural environment around them.
We've got walks and talks in the Catlins, based around environmental and scientific ideas, highlighting sea lions and birds and natural wonders of the Catlins. We've got talk on climate change and the coastal impact that possibly will have by Neville Peat. We've got talks by Franny Cunningham on Tātuku Restoration Program, and bat talks by Katrina Gow, the Bat Lady, and Thomas Matten is coming to talk about cameras on penguins underwater, which is really fascinating. Early February we've got an activity where at the Nuggets where people can build a little blue penguin nest box. Little blue penguins are much more vulnerable to dog attacks and other animals and human interference. So getting them in a nest box like this gives them some protection rather than having an open nest where they could just be attacked by particularly dogs who let off the lead.
The Otago University Students Association has bought one of the last remaining bars near the Dunedin campus. Events manager Jason Schroeder has told Critic magazine they want to address the decline in student bars while also ensuring students have a safe place to drink. Schroeder says Starters Bar in Frederick Street provides a safe environment, in contrast to flat parties which are the wild west of drinking. A recent study reveals students are drinking at pubs much less than in previous years, coinciding with the closure of beloved campus haunts like the Guardies and the Bowler. 2-year-old Kylo took 3 days to limp back home after a slug guard pellet shattered his front leg. The cat's owner, 8-year-old Lachlan Sewell, and his mother, Kirsty Sewell, raced Kylo to the vet where extensive surgery was done to try and save his leg. CTV's Gordon Finlater reports.
The battle scars are evident for this 2-year-old feline who left his home in Prebleton and didn't return for 3 days. Kylo went out for his normal adventure on Tuesday last week. For 3 nights, 8-year-old Lachlan didn't have his buddy in his usual posse.
Yeah, he likes to hop into my bed at night.
Kylo would make it home eventually, but with his front left leg dangling, unable to be used, and a bullet lodged in his back.
Friday morning I came out into the lounge and he was asleep on the dog bed. And I was like, "Oh, you're home, darling." So I went to take him through to Lachlan and I was like, "Oh, he was very light." And he felt a bit odd, but I hadn't noticed he was hurt because there wasn't any blood. And then I put him down on Lachlan's bed and I was like, "Oh, hello, you're injured."
Kirsty Sewell and Lachlan quickly discovered a lump on Kylo. A trip to the vet then came with some heartbreaking news as to why Kylo had taken so long to get home.
Did x-rays and there was pellet in there, so that it became apparent that he'd been shot and that the bullet had fractured his leg. He couldn't walk on it, he was walking on 3 legs and it was just hanging. So yeah, he walked home. It took him, I think he probably got shot on Tuesday and it probably took him 3 days to get home. That's him talking. He wants to talk to us.
Knowing the extent of what Kylo had gone through, Mrs. Sewell felt sick knowing that someone would shoot a cat.
The person that did this, it's really unfortunate and sad, and it scares me that somebody thinks it's okay to shoot a cat and what else they think it's okay to shoot.
Kylo is now back at home and on the road to recovery. However, the $2,500 vet bill isn't a nice surprise coming into Christmas. Thankfully, a friend of Mrs. Sewell's has set up a Give a Little page for Kylo, already having raised more than $700.
Any dollar that we can get is amazing and helpful for us. And I'm really, really grateful for the people out there that have had positive comments and been supportive and given us some money towards it. Doesn't matter how much it is, because it just reminds me that there's more kind and caring people in the world out there than there is people like the person who's done this.
He is hoping a speedy recovery for Kylo and a happy ending to this otherwise sickening story.
Still to come on the South today, the jolly rotunda guy with the red suit pays a visit to Geraldine, and we catch up with a departing professor who's leaving a mighty legacy at Otago.
Hi folks, it's me again. My friend Lindsay at Alec Campbell Menswear and all his team in the 3 stores, Mosgiel, South Dunedin and Cromwell, wish you a Merry Christmas. It's a wee message from him. And from me, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Spring is here and it's time to get in the garden. Ready Lawn will take care of your lawn needs, making lawn care a snap. They will install the perfect lawn while you plant your favourite flowers and vegetables. Call Ready Lawn today so you can enjoy the coming season.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274. Petrol prices getting you down? Keep the smile on your dial with an e-bike grin from Electrify NZ on Cumberland Street. For an average $2,000 savings per year, why wouldn't you? Book a test ride today.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
My Els and I just love coming to Alex Campbell's. That's my favourite shop. I always get good value here, and good boys really deserve good brands and good quality. Look at these tees. Local beaches on some of them too. This is only for the good boys, the old boys, the young boys. What about some bright shorts for the boys? Excellent.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
It's that time of year. It's time to get into the garden and it's time to get your weed eater. Down here at the Power Garden Department at Andersons Bay Road, this year it's all about the cordless weed eater. Come down and see us at Mighty 10 Mega and we'll help you get it done right.
Welcome back. 660 have announced a Dunedin show following a viral campaign to bring the band down south. The group will perform at Forsyth Bar Stadium on Saturday the 9th of March, 2 weeks after their sold-out Western Springs Stadium show in Auckland. The campaign began after lead singer Matto Walters told a local breakfast radio duo he would love to bring the band back to Dunedin. They took him for his word and began to rally 660 fans on air and on social media, finally convincing the band to return. Thousands have turned out for the annual Christmas parade held in the South Canterbury town of Geraldine over the weekend. The parade is regarded as one of the best in the region, with dozens of floats and after-parade attractions for children and adults. The parade wound its way along the rural town's main street, and helpers added to the fun by distributing lollies to eager children. At the end of the parade, organisations were on hand to offer plenty of food options to the public. The inimitable Mark Hennigan departs the Otago University at the end of the month, leaving behind a reputation as big as his personality. The ODT's Bruce Munro spent an afternoon with the internationally lauded, occasionally lambasted law professor and found a compassionate boy who refused to grow up.
Yeah, I think the greatest interaction for me is when I see a student coming in first year and they're fresh and they're a bit bewildered and they're a bit confused and they're a bit concerned. It's a big place, 20,000 students, and there's all these people in their class that come from a class of 20 to a class of 600. And then I meet them years later. And they're working in some of the most fantastic jobs. You know, they might have been working in international court in Cambodia, or they might have been working, some of them are working, for example, with the Flying Doctors Group, or one of them runs a big orchestra in London, and you bang into them and you think, it's just so wonderful to see that transition from where they started to what they've used their degree for, a wide range of different things. And the stories they tell you where they've been, they still remember those formative years. So it's a great privilege to share that with them, and also see the useful things they're doing out in the world. I mean, that's the greatest thing from a teacher's point of view. They're doing more than, a lot of them are doing law, and some of them are judges and doing all sorts of different things, just to talk to them. I bang into so many on the streets, it takes me weeks to walk the streets in Wellington and Auckland, and you bang into people, and one of them just recently was telling me he's involved with the big trust fund governments who ran, they're investing money and they're bringing the interest rates they're getting. He was so excited about the fact he was doing that particular job. You know, I just love hearing those stories. Others are working community law centres doing different work. You know, the range of things that they're doing. I'm always amazed at the range of things that they're doing, and the glint in their eye, and that sense of they're doing something really useful, and they still remember what they did here in first year and in law here. I find that's the greatest satisfaction, because they all have their trials and tribulations when they go through it. You get to know many of them, and they're out there doing things, and they don't surprise me, because I always knew they had it in them, but they kind of surprise themselves, which is wonderful.
After the break on the South today, a pair of Canterbury publicans are determined to reopen a historic pub, which was broken in the 2016 quake. And we check out the weather for Wednesday and the rest of the week, so please stay with us.
What a wonderful year! No more neck pain, shoulders are great, back, all pain's gone. Sciatica, not a problem. What a great year my customers had. Happy New Year, and see you in 2019.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. If you come see me, Derek, in the garden department, then we get it done right.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
Petrol prices getting you down? Keep the smile on your dial with an e-bike grin from Electrify NZ on Cumberland Street. For an average $2,000 savings per year, why wouldn't you? Book a test ride today.
Hello, it's Jeremy down here at Mitre 10 Nega in Andersons Bay. We've got 35 different lawnmowers down in our power garden department. We've got ride-on mowers, petrol mowers, battery operated mowers, push mowers. Did you know we've even got a robot, a little robot lawnmower that pops out during the day when you're at work or play. It'll pop out and mow your lawn. So come down and see me, Jeremy, down in the Power Garden Department at Mitre 10 Mega in Andersons Bay Road, where we'll help you get it done right first time.
My Els and I just love coming to Alex Campbell's. That's my favourite shop. I always get good value here, and good boys really deserve good brands and good quality. Look at these tees. Local features on some of them too. This is only for the good boys, the old boys, the young boys. What about some bright shorts for the boys? Excellent.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Active Interior Design in Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
Thanks for staying with us. Built in 1910, the Waiau Lodge Hotel was severely damaged in the 2016 Canterbury earthquake and has been out of action ever since. The owners are running a temporary hotel and are determined to operate in the historic lodge, but face many hurdles along the way.
The historic Waiau Lodge Hotel has been closed since the 2016 Kaikoura earthquake. Proprietor Michelle Berry and her business partner are running a temporary hotel to make ends meet, while both are living in temporary accommodation.
That's correct, and our power is still with via extension cord that reaches into goes from my portacom to the shed to the tavern. So we've got power. I've got to be careful when you run to the early hours in the morning because you've got to come to the toilets here. For a shower, it's in the women's toilets. Just what we call extended camping. At least we've got somewhere to lay our heads, thanks to United Support. The reason I have a portacom was the support from a person in Amberley Tyres. Otherwise, yes, I'll probably be still sleeping in the van.
And Berry says they weren't able to trade for half a year following the quake.
Since then, she is cordoned off. We're still waiting on planning and costings for her. We currently reside outside still. We have the tavern running for now to keep us going. We didn't trade for just under 6 months, so that was when the tavern wasn't there.
The 2016 earthquake wasn't the first time Berry lost practically everything and had to start again.
Yeah, didn't you? No, I didn't escape them really. Well, I lost my house. I hung in there for 4 years. I kept 2 blogs. I kept all the information all dated, and then decided I'd had enough getting up, working from 9 to whatever time it was in town. So Lindsay, I've known for 20-something years, went and seen him, and I said, so we try to work out some finances and get a pub somewhere. Because a few people in my family have had hotels or have hotels. But it's definitely not a job I'd probably jump at again, a career. It's hard work.
She says the temporary Waiau Tavern is serving its purpose for her and the locals. And despite it being a tough lifestyle, she's keen to reopen the historic Waiau Lodge Hotel again. And to that end, they're running a fundraising campaign through social media. In Waiau, the South did it.
In the lead up to Christmas, we are taking a look back at the news highlights over the last 12 months. April saw a visit to the South from New Zealand's Prime Minister. The Southland Museum and Art Gallery was closed indefinitely due to concerns about earthquake risks, and very few people were arrested this year at Dunedin's Hyde Street keg party.
Oh, only because you were so polite.
Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern visited the South in April, which included calling in at Waitaki Boys High School in Oamaru. She then visited Maniatoto Hospital in Ranfurly, making good on an election pledge of $1 million grant towards a rebuild of the community hospital.
The first thing I want to say is congratulations to you for the work that you have done. The amount of fundraising has been extraordinary.
An Invercargill City Council advisory panel recommended the continuation of captive bolts to euthanise dogs. It came after an earlier public outcry in response to video footage of a dog being euthanised with a captive bolt gun. Dunedin's annual Hyde Street keg party had only 3 partygoers arrested, with the Otago University Students Association now in their 6th year of managing the event. This was in stark contrast to earlier decades, such as this Hyde Street party in 1999. Invercargill residents were surprised by the Southland Art Gallery and Museum shutting its doors following concerns about earthquake risk. The building is still closed to the public. And the southern town was also rocked by an armed robbery of a dairy in Strathern. 2 men armed with hammers threatened the store owner just before closing.
2 males have entered the store and continued to go around behind the counter, and that's when the boss who was on has exited the store and gone to get help. And as far as we know, smokes have been taken. That's all we can really say so far.
And homeless cats were the beneficiaries of this year's Alexandra Dog Swim fundraiser. With the pool complex closed to human swimmers, local dogs were invited to have a fun day out.
Well, we started doing it last year. Purely, it was an idea that came from the SPCA, and it's not only good for the SPCA, it's a fundraiser for the SPCA. It's a good time for us because the pool is now closed to the public, so it works in well for us. I think also it's a great opportunity for socialisation for the dogs.
The $1,000+ raised went towards a new cat facility in Earnscleugh.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Queenstown's Mayor has hit out at the New Zealand Transport Agency over Queenstown's traffic woes, saying he's frustrated by the slow pace of progress. A summer program in the Catlins next month is promising a festival of wildlife featuring birds, butterflies and all manner of feathered family fun. And a 2-year-old Christchurch cat called Kylo took 3 days to limp home after a slug gun pellet shattered his front leg. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome Hayden Meikle. What have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Good evening, Mel. Bit of a mixed bag. Fish, funding, pubs, galleries and rugby. So there we go. Let's start with fish. Salmon, very interesting story. We've got a company applying for consent to monitor a couple of potential spots for offshore salmon farms in the southern region. I don't know if you're a fan of salmon, Mel. I can't stand the stuff. But
My mother's a keen salmon fisher, but that's the stuff that runs free.
Yeah, this would be interesting, very interesting. And also interesting, and I have a big interest in this now, I live in Mosgiel, commuter trains in Dunedin. I say we bring them back, and so does Councillor Jim O'Malley. Perhaps on the countdown to a mayoral run, who knows, but he's calling for government funding to look at commuter trains in Dunedin, and well, he's got my vote if that's what he's standing
Hopefully
on.
if they're electric.
That would be great. Students bought a pub, obviously. We've just talked about how students aren't drinking as much as they used to, or misbehaving like they used to, but they've bought a pub. It was probably the Ori back in my day, which was quite a few years ago.
Showing your age.
What has it been now? Starters Bar or something like that. So the students own it now, which is cool. Little Oamaru story, close to my heart. The Forrester Gallery's been closed unexpectedly thanks to some mould growing up there. So it's probably not a great Oamaru story, but interesting nonetheless. And a really interesting club rugby story. We're in December, it's not exactly club rugby season, but we've got a very prominent local official sounding a bit of a warning about the future of club rugby and warning that we may get to a point where there's only 6 teams in Dunedin. So year round, there's always something interesting to talk about in club rugby.
Wonderful, so you can catch all that in tomorrow's paper, thank you. And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Tonight's southern view is of weeds amongst the rail lines at the Dunedin Railway Station. Looking at the situation, easterly airflow will remain for a few days while a weak low pressure system moves from the eastern Tasman Sea across the North Island. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect showers and a high of 21 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson, you have a few clouds. And Blenheim, it could have a few showers and 21 degrees for you. In Canterbury, a rainy day for Kaikoura with a high of 17 degrees. Christchurch and Ashburton may have a few showers. Christchurch is aiming for a high of 16 degrees, while Ashburton should reach 15. Looking at the southern centres, Catlins, Balclutha, Gora and Lumsden are all in for moderate northeasterlies. Cloudy and highs between 14 and 16 degrees. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, moderate northerlies, showers with highs of 17 for Wanaka, 16 for Alexandra and Queenstown, and a bit cooler for you in Te Anau on 15 degrees, and you also have rain. Looking at the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru can expect moderate northeasterlies, rain and 14 to 15 degree highs. Moderate northerlies, showers for Omarama and Twizel, and you're both expecting 16 to 17 degree highs. And in Dunedin, drizzle patches tonight with northeasterlies, and you can expect an overnight low of 11 degrees. Drizzle at first tomorrow, which then clears, and clouds will break from mid-afternoon with a few bright periods developing. 13 the high and a low of 11. And it's mostly cloudy but dry on Thursday with fresh breezy northeasterlies, a high of 14 and a low of 12. And heading down to Invercargill, low cloud or mist tonight and an overnight low of 11. Mostly fine tomorrow, looking at a high of 16 and a low of 11. Thursday, expect sunny periods mixed with some high cloud and light east to northeast winds. Plan for a high of 19 and a low of 9. And that wraps up our news for this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to channel39.co.nz, odt.co.nz, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear. Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.